from Northern California. It's the PenPals.Buzz Prison Pen Pal Podcast. Hear real stories from real inmates who want to write to you. Now, here's your host, Big Steve.
You know, one of the things I love about the PenPals.Buzz Prison Pen Pal Podcast is it gives us the ability to showcase talent of so many incarcerated individuals, the talent, the motivation, the drive, what I think is an incredible ability of incarcerated people to complete these massive, amazing projects when they have such limited resources and so many restrictions, so many things. They're not allowed to have this. They're not allowed to have that. They can't get their mail. They can't get color pictures or catalogs, yet they can do these incredible projects. We spoke earlier in the season, I think last year actually, Ben Alverson, who's at a civil commitment center in St. Peter, Minnesota, and he's created this artwork that he's sold worldwide, even to someone in New Zealand. And a few months back, we had Paris Siri Paviquet on the show, who wrote a prison cookbook that was so much more than a cookbook. It was called Food and Philosophy Behind Bars. And how can she do that? I mean, from where she is, it's so hard. Today, an incredible story, a man named Jason Kurtz. Jason is a member of the site, PenPals.Buzz. He's also an author. From his cell, he actually wrote a series of self-help, personal growth, self-improvement type books. And we're going to talk to him about those books. He also wrote another book, kind of unrelated to that, but equally cool, called Secret Tales of the Supernatural. And he's going to talk about actual supernatural experiences that he's had, and there's lots of them. And he's going to go into a little more depth. We'll be talking to Jason Kurtz here on the phone just momentarily. I think it's so awesome because it's so hard in there to get things done. But at the same time, in a way, it almost gives you this laser focus. If you're committed to an achievement, if you say, this is my goal, I'm going to get this done. Look at this. There's no distractions anymore, right? You can't, like I do, you can't just decide I'm going to go to Reno for the weekend. You can't, like I did last night, spend hours at the hotel bar having pizza and Aperol spritzes. You can't do that, and there's not a hell of a lot to do, right? You can watch the same crap on television. You can play spades with the same, some of them idiots, right, in the day room. You can do that. Or you can just say, you know what? I can do more than that. I can do so much more. It forces you to just sit down and get it done. And because you've had to live so long with so many restrictions and so many rules, so many things you can't do, you just figure out a way. You improvise. You overcome, right? You figure out a way to get it done. And that's what Jason Kurtz has done. How do you pronounce this? I'm good with English, but is it Waupun Correctional?
Waupun, yeah.
Waupun, okay. Correctional Institution. You're in Wisconsin. You've written these amazing books.
Amazing books.
We've got Secrets to Wealth. We've got Secrets to Wisdom. And then there's Secrets to Wealth and Wisdom, which is great if you don't want to, have all the separate, books and all that. It's all combined. And then finally, Secret Tales of the Supernatural. Could you first just tell everybody just a brief background about who you are?
Sure. Well, I'm a native of Wisconsin, and I was certified in personal training, and gym management and sales were my passions. I wrote these books because, we're only allowed a certain amount of books to have, and I started buying these self-help books, and I couldn't keep the books. So I could read them, but then I had to give them up if I wanted to read other books. So basically what I did is I started to take the books that I read, and I wrote down the main important information from the self-help books. And they're wonderful books. I mean, I've got 125 of probably the best authors that you could find for self-improvement and self-help books. And if I could name a couple names, they're great books that you probably have heard of. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. All the Money in the World by Laura Vanderkamp. Power Phrases, just a few of the books would be One Simple Act, A Simple Act of Gratitude.
I remember when I was locked up, and it's been a while, I found this book in the library called Never Be Lied to Again.
Yeah, I've got that in my book, Secrets to Wisdom has that.
You never know if a guy says, hey, if you give me this, I'll pay you back next week, and I'm like, is this guy lying to me? And so I bought this thing to try to understand. And that was written by like a former FBI guy. So, I mean, that was pretty valuable, but I understand what you're saying, dude. We had a limit of 17 books and magazines, and that included the Bible, and 17. And if you had like 18, then they just take it. They take it away. And that sucked.
We could only have 25 publications, and I just read these books, and I thought I want to read them again at some point. And so I just wrote the main points down in a giant 2 notebooks. I'm sure you would have loved these books. 100 Simple Secrets of Success. Like you said, Never Be Lied to Again by David Lieberman. I got Mind Games by Michael Powell. One of the best books in here, 6 Keys to Unlock and Empower Your Mind by Mark Salem. Experiments in Mental Suggestion, Building Great Sentences, Subliminal by Leonard Mlodinow. Now that's a book, Subliminal, we don't even realize in our society how much advertising is subliminally trying to reach your subconscious mind. And that's another great book I have in there is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. And
how many books total are compiled into this collection you've done?
There's 125 of the best self-help and prosperity books that you could find that I could locate.
You've basically spent, years reading 125 or more books?
10 years.
10 years. So you spent 10 years and you read 125 books and you hand wrote in a notebook all of the best parts of each of these books, right? And then you decided instead of having 125 books for people, I can make this all one unbelievable book that has all of this information.
Exactly.
How'd you get that done from where you're at?
You got to find a self-help publisher. You got to find a self-publisher. And then you got to pay them because it's not easy to get a publisher. So I had to pay for these. And luckily the stimulus check money helped me get the funds to pay people to put these books together for me. And once I got it put together, I thought, this is amazing stuff. This is something, I did this because I published this because I wanted to do to others what I would want have done to me. So I would have loved to have this book instead of 125 books to read. I would have loved to have this one 458-page book. This book is for the time crunch person that doesn't have the time to read 125 books, but wants to glean the information from those books.
They don't want to spend 10 years. And I'm thinking of the cost of 125 books. I don't know how you were buying these, but we're talking thousands of dollars probably, right, to get that?
We're talking a lot of money. And these were legitimate books. They weren't hand-me-down books. They were brand new. They cost a lot of money. And who wants to spend that kind of money?
All calls other than properly placed attorney calls may be monitored and recorded.
Blah, blah. I hate that lady.
I had the time to do this. So within that time frame, I just read a little bit each day, documented the things that were most important in the book so I could go back later and read it. I didn't originally intend on publishing a book. I originally intended on documenting everything, so I had my own notes on all these books. But then as it accumulated and the more books I had, I thought, this is really something that I should share with other people because there's a lot of people that don't want to read all these books. So this gives you the information. It's a genius thing. It's a concept idea because I've never seen like 100 self-help books into one book.
That's incredible. I want to get into some of the benefits people can get, but just briefly before I do, I'm thinking of this like wise man, Jason Kurtz, sitting there in Wisconsin with knowledge from hundreds of these books on personal growth. And do you have like a bunch of guys? I mean, are you like the new guy where if someone needs advice, they're like, hey, bro, I think my girl's going to leave me. What should I do? Are you like that guy now with all the answers?
I really don't talk to people. I spend my time in my cell. I don't really interact with a lot of people.
There's probably a book there that says, solitude is wise.
If you're in prison, it's much safer to stay in your room.
Yeah. Tell me what do you think? Like, let's say somebody buys this book tomorrow and they're available on Amazon. We also, if you go to penpals.buzz/inmate/Jason-Kurtz, Kurtz, or just search for Jason Kurtz on penpals.buzz, we have links to all of the books that are available that you've written. But if somebody were to go to Amazon and they purchase this book, either the Kindle version or the paperback, they're anywhere from, I think, $650 for the Kindle version up to maybe $20 for some of the paperbacks. What kind of benefits might somebody see? I mean, it sounds like a ton, but just give us some examples of how these books could help someone that's maybe going through a rough time in their life.
Every aspect of somebody's life, people can improve through these books. Everything from salesmanship to auto-suggestion to mind reading to clairvoyance to relationships and dating and what women want. I have a book called Get Anyone to Do Anything by David Lieberman. If you want to learn how to get what you want, this book does it. The Like Switch by Jack Schaefer, how to get people to like you. I have a Everything Body Language book by Shelley Hagan. Everything you want to learn about body language. I can study somebody I can tell somebody's disposition just by looking at them, whether they look off to the left or they look off to the right, which way their feet are pointed. That's all in this book. Another book called Flirting 101, How to Flirt Properly.
Oh, wow.
You can flirt with the same sex, and it's okay if you know how to do it. I have a complete guide to massage. I mean, I've got all the tips that you could do for a perfect massage for somebody.
Wow, oh my God.
I got a book called Super Forecasting, tells you how to read the future. I've got a great book called Rules for the Modern Man by Dylan Jones. This is like a how to be a gentleman kind of a book. This is the real science of sex appeal, persuasion and influence, if you want to learn persuasion and influencing people. I've got books on hypnosis, how to hypnotize other people, how to hypnotize yourself, how to be a people magnet. Every aspect of your life can be increased through the knowledge of these books. Now, I'm not saying I'm the one that's given the information. I'm just taking this from what I've read from years and years.
Who else is going to take? I mean, that's worth like thousands of dollars. I mean, 10 years of compiling this, and you're not telling people the stuff that was kind of boring or didn't really seem relevant. I mean, you're just picking out the good stuff in each of these books. I would flirt with you, Jason. I've just decided not to. I'm drinking this pina colada as much as that flirting idea. It's intriguing, but I think we can wait for a while on that. I don't know if you are able or willing to give out any of the secrets, but maybe, just to give someone like a sneak, do you have like one secret to, let's say, wealth? Like one good secret to wealth you can just kind of give people a little glimpse of, a tidbit of something that they could gleam from?
Sure. I mean, I literally just open one of my books and I'll just go right to any page and I'll just read from any section because I don't even have to cherry pick anything out of the book because everything has already been cherry picked.
Okay.
You are what you imagine yourself to be. If you're broke, you haven't convinced your subconscious that you will always have plenty. Wealth is simply a subconscious conviction on the part of the individual. That's from the power of your subconscious mind.
So,
doesn't just have that. Now, in fact, you know what? Let me ask you a question, Steve.
Yeah, go for it, man.
What is something that you feel that would improve your life, that you would like to know about?
I would like to have like a better communication within my marriage.
Well, here's one. Why women have sex.
Okay, that's even better.
That's a big one. But here's one that I really think you would like. It's called The Man's Guide to Women by Julie Gottman and John Gottman. Now, this would help you probably figure out what women are thinking and so on and so forth. That's chapter 71, Secrets to Wisdom. I also have another book called How to Create Chemistry with Anyone by Lyle Loudness. If you want to learn how to create chemistry with your wife, this is a great book that teaches you that.
I'm on Amazon looking at your books. Man, I want to buy all of these things. I don't want to sound like one of those cheesy, those guys on like the Home Shopping Network that are selling onion choppers and they're like, oh my God, this onion chopper will save your life and it'll make your life so much better. And I don't want to sound like that guy, but I genuinely, man, I think these books are priced too low. I mean, I really do. $12.99 for Secrets to Wealth. I mean, you can get it on the Kindle for $6, and I'm thinking like, maybe this dude needs to raise his prices. I don't know. It's just a thought I had, and I'm trying to decide like what to buy. I don't know. Like, there's no possible way I could just buy Wealth or Wisdom. I mean, because if I bought the Secrets to Wealth, I'm going to be like, man, I got to get the other one.
Secrets to Wealth is cool. What it is those are all prosperity books, just solely about money. And there's only 25 prosperity books in Secrets to Wealth, but that was all that I felt I needed. The Secrets to Wisdom has more about like a every other aspect of your life, everything else. You're missing out if you miss out the wisdom. And you know what? I felt like the prices were, I mean, they are kind of low.
Yeah.
But that's kind of comparable to other books out there. So I wanted to just be comparable.
The book sounds so amazing. Like, it sounds like your book is incomparable to all the others too. I don't know. I'm just like putting it out there. I'm going to buy these because I think at one point you're going to decide I got to raise these prices and I want to buy this before you do that. So, because I don't want to spend too much. I want to get a deal. I'm cheap.
I will say this.
Yeah.
I did let my neighbor read it one time, and he said that the title doesn't hold a candle to the contents.
Okay.
And I asked him, well, what's a better title? And he couldn't think of one, and I can't think of a better one because it's got so many things it covers. It just covers everything, like whatever you could think of. What do you want to know of? I mean, it's got... There's so many things in those books that, like, okay, for example, does anybody know the color of roses and what they signify? That's in the book. That is passion and true love. Light pink is desire and energy and passion. Yellow is friendship.
I needed to read this, Jason. Like years and years ago, in my first marriage, I came home with roses, and no shit. Like, I'm not even kidding. I think I brought home like yellow or something, and it was like, she's like, oh, so I'm just a friend? And I was like, no, it's because I thought they were beautiful, and I didn't even know, man. I was so stupid. So I needed to read, man, that could have saved me so much hardship.
Here's another excerpt from Flirting 101 that you talked about, that you're going to have a couple drinks and flirt with me. Eye contact and smiling are the two initiators. Research has shown that an average person who smiles is more attractive than an overly attractive man who doesn't smile.
I'm smiling right now, but they can't tell. But my smile's like amazing. I mean, I could get some whiter teeth, but no, I got a great smile.
You could think about it. A smile is more attractive than a more attractive man who doesn't smile.
Man.
Smiling at someone is the ultimate acceptance and acknowledgement. If there's one thing you want to do to people when you greet them, is smile. You want to talk about this secret tales, or?
So, I mean, I want to talk about it, but I mean, man, check this out. I mean,
you want to keep.
The spaceship has landed, and now we want to transition. So you've written these self-improvement books, personal growth, self-help, whatever the word is now. But you wrote this other book that, let me play this one more time. I feel I need to set the mood. I got to set the stage. Secret Tales of the Supernatural. Now, this is not like the other books, so tell everybody kind of what this book is.
Well, let me read the back to you. This is the back bio, okay? It says Secret Tales of the Supernatural, spooky tales, things that go bump in the night, witches' brews, and ghostly ghouls. This book's got it all, from alien sights to all-night frights. The author takes you through an amalgamation of satanic sights and supernatural sights and all things that go bump in the night. So grab a hot tea or hot cocoa or chablis and settle yourself in for the Secret Tales of the Supernatural. This book is a completed true project of nonfiction. All people, places, and experiences in it are 100% real, honest, and accurate. So if you love true ghost stories, then you'll love the Secret Tales of the Supernatural. So get cozy and be prepared to be 100% totally scared.
Man, we need to
all
get you.
Calls other than properly placed attorney calls may be monitored and recorded.
All right, she's done. I want to get you to do. You need to do like an audio book, man, on Audible, because man, that voiceover was spectacular right there. I like that. That makes it more scary when it's actually true. It's not just some imaginative stuff you made up. So where'd you get these true stories from?
So I'm reading a book called Haunted Wisconsin, and I'm from Wisconsin, so I wanted to read about, hauntings from Wisconsin.
Right.
I'm reading the book. Now, there's a chapter about a man named Major Hobart that was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and as I'm reading about this, the mansions in the 1800s weren't considered what today's mansions are. They were more like brick houses.
Okay.
But this particular brick house that was on, I think, like 12th or 13th and State Street in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, had supposedly a ghost by the name of Major Hobart. Now, as I'm reading this story in this book, it triggered a memory that I had that I visited a friend of mine who lived at this house. The Major committed suicide in the house. My friend wanted to commit suicide in this house. Now, when I went to visit him, I forgot all about it till I read the story. This was in like the 90s, when I went to visit him, I remember him telling me that they had a ghost, and it was a notorious ghost in that house. And they showed me where the guy hung himself from a chandelier, and then they showed me the steps they used to hear step foots on. And then I went up the steps to the bedroom where the guy lived, and he showed me the bedroom, and that's when he started telling me about all these noises they would hear in the house and all these things. But back then, I didn't think much of it. After I read that book, I told somebody, and I said, man, I was in this house that had this haunt, and I remember them telling me about it. And then I started thinking about all of the stories that I had of friends that have experienced ghosts and things like that. So I started writing them down, and I put like 25 different stories about true hauntings. Now, if you've ever picked up a ghost story book, you're going to read about somebody that documented all of the stories that they found online on a newspaper. So that's interesting, right? Okay, so where's the first hand? I get second-hand books. Where's the first hand? Where's the guy that writes the book that says, hey, I've experienced all of these supernatural experiences, and I haven't been able to find one. So I wrote one firsthand, my personal experiences with all of these amazing ghost stories and phenomenons. I had a friend of mine when I was 14. His babysitter was a medium that did a seance at midnight at their house without their parents home, and they conjured up some spirit that they saw land in their living room, unlock windows, and blow out candles with the medium in the middle of the room doing a seance. I had a friend of mine that has a documented haunted house from Wisconsin. His name was Lynn, and they had the fire department there because the neighbors kept calling the police because they thought that the house was on fire. My friend said that he saw his grandma at the bottom of the steps in a rocking chair, and she had already passed, and the basement was on fire. I was in the house. They said he had a noid doll that used to run around on the floor when the lights turned off overnight, and the doll would end up in a different part of the room when he woke up in the morning. I talked to a ghost in Ybor City in Tampa, Florida for 1 hour at an abandoned cigar factory.
That's unbelievable.
That happened to me personally.
My wife took me to this psychic and healing arts fair in Sacramento, and they had a lot of mediums and whatnot. We listened to a lecture from a guy talk about his UFO abduction. And at the end, I mean, it was very clear to all of us, this guy is just batshit crazy, right? This guy is totally insane. But when I'm hearing you talk, and I've been talking to you for a while, you're an educated guy, you're a smart man, you're not crazy, you're not insane. Like, you're making sense. Like, so I believe you. When you're telling me these stories, I believe them, right? And I don't believe a lot of the people that tell the stories, I just think they're crazy. But you're not crazy, and I genuinely believe that all this stuff happened. And that's, to me, that's what makes a book like Secret Tales of the Supernatural, where you've had personal experiences or you've been connected in some way to these stories. I mean, that's so much more appealing to me. It's something I'd want to read because I believe it.
Yeah. There's no exaggeration and no spin on the stories. Let me tell you a crazy story. I had a friend of mine that said that he knew of a satanic church, and we were thrill seekers. No, everybody does it when you're younger. You want to go thrill seek and see different places. Well, this guy said there was a satanic church. We drove 45 minutes to an hour north of Milwaukee, and it was a dark night, when all the whole shebang dark, it was a dark and stormy night, but it wasn't really stormy. We drove 45 minutes north. And then we got to where it was real pitch black, and I didn't know where I was going, and he knew we were going. So he goes, hey, turn down this street, right? And we turned down the street. It looks like Elm Street from Fred Krueger, and it was pitch black, and it had houses on one side, but they all looked dilapidated, and there were no lights on at any of the houses, inside or out. No porch lights, nothing. We drive slowly down this road that's beat up. I mean, the road is you don't want to drive too fast because it's got potholes everywhere, and it's just, it's a scary, very, very scary situation. As soon as we got out of the car, we looked up at the sky, and I had never seen Northern Lights before, but it looked like it was possibly Northern Lights. The entire sky was showering lightning. It covered the complete sky. So it wasn't like the Alaska Northern Lights where it's like green and purple and wavy. This was like clouds, showering clouds streaking across the sky. And we both looked at each other, and here we are supposedly at a satanic church, and we freaked out, and I got back in the car, and I just drove the heck out of there.
Calls other than properly placed attorney calls may be monitored and recorded.
But I detailed this story in the book, and it's a very interesting way that I put it. And what I do is when I wrote the book, I tried to put the reader in my eyes. You know, I tried to put them how I felt, what it looked like, the time of day, the atmosphere, the ambiance. So when you read it, you feel like you're there. There's so many stories like that in this book that are so creepy, and I just put them all in there because it all kind of pertains to the supernatural and death and Halloween. And
they always say the truth is stranger than fiction, and it sounds like the truth in this case is a hell of a lot scarier than fiction, too. I mean, you could go read a Dean Koontz book or whatever, but, you know, he's just making that up in his brain. But this stuff is, like, legit, man. Like, you were there. That's the thing I think people need to realize, like, how scary is it when something really happened versus just watching E.T. on television or something, right?
That's exactly right. You know, when it happens to you firsthand, it doesn't become that fun feeling that you have when you rent a movie and you plug it in and you watch it. Well,
right. You're not getting that. You're not getting the popcorn. You don't have the large Coke and the Junior Mints. None of that, huh? You're just getting the hell out.
You don't got the comfort of grabbing your wife or significant other and feeling safe. So when you're sitting in your house and you're watching a program about the devil, and some guy says the devil knocks 3 times, and suddenly you hear a knock at your window 3 times, you'll suddenly become a little bit afraid.
What's your plan, man? Let's say you end up with a ton of cash from this book. It's successful. I know you're getting out of there at some point in the relatively near future. Do you have a plan for what you'd like to do with the money?
I don't expect to make a living off of selling books. I've got other things that I'm going to do when I get out.
Mm-hmm.
I have pursuits, so I'd rather pursue my passions than make the money, because if you read my books, a lot of it talks about reaping what you sow, and you get what you put out there. And to be honest with you, giving is really getting. When you give freely, you're actually giving to yourself, and you give to other people, and the whole point is selling. So I've already thought about that. What happens even if it was $1 million, I'm not going to live on it. I'm going to probably use it for other things. There's other things I want to do in life. I want to act. I want to do stand-up comedy. These are things. These are just catalysts for me to do other things with my life when I get out. So
I think of it kind of like with the podcast here at penpals.buzz. We decided we're going to do this a couple of years ago, and we start cranking out episodes. And we're like, oh man, we're going to have 1,000 listeners, whatever. And we go and look, and there's like 3 downloads the first week, right? And I'm like, damn, we did a lot of work to put these out. And so, but I mean, it still felt good that 3 people cared enough to listen. But now that the numbers are growing, even though we're not making any money doing this, it just feels good that other people care about our passion. And I'm sure for you, I mean, you're sharing this knowledge that you've gained, and other people being able to benefit from that has got to be a good feeling. What was it like, man? How long did it take you to write this? What's the process there? Do you have typewriters? Do you have computers? How'd you get this all done and from your confinement?
I would read and then come across something that seemed like a nugget of wisdom, and I would write that down, and I would say, okay, this is the point that the author's trying to make. And I continue to do this, but I did this for about an hour a day, where I would read and then write.
Did you submit this? Was this like handwritten that you submitted to the publisher? Did you have to retype everything? How did that go down?
I got all these books together, and we started getting tablets, and tablets came with an email account through core links. And as that happened, we had a huge allotment of character space I could use for my emails. We were allowed to buy foldable rubber keyboards to attach to the tablet.
Perfect.
I emailed all of my books to the publishers, so I could type probably maybe 60 words a minute or so, and I just would type it up and send it to the publisher, and they would copy paste, put it together for me. And it does cost money.
Yeah.
If you're self-publishing, there's a fee. It could cost up to $2,500 a book.
You're a fascinating man, Jason, and this podcast episode is fascinating. I know people listening are like, oh my God, that guy's amazing. I'm hoping that's what they're saying. And they're going to want to get to know you more, learn more of your story. And you are on penpals.buzz. If you go to our site and search for Jason Kurtz, they're going to find your profile. How can people, if let's say they want to just write to you and say hi, and maybe they'll buy your book and then they want to contact you and talk about the book, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, the email service, you can go through gettingout.com and then search for my name and ID number. My prison ID number is 495-483. And then you can reach me by mail at Waupun Correctional Institution, P.O. Box 189, Phoenix, Maryland, 21131.
It's lockdown time for Big Steve, but he'll be back soon with another edition of the penpals.buzz Prison Pen Pal podcast. To be a guest on our show, email podcast@penpals.buzz or call 888-2-PEN-PAL. Penpals.buzz is a division of Snaptura Inmate Services.
From a dark, deserted, and haunted office building off Highway 273, the ghost of Big Steve has appeared with the Halloween edition of the Prison Pen Pal podcast. Joining us tonight is the author of Secret Tales of the Supernatural, Jason Kurtz, and from FCI Tallahassee, Cheyenne Smith. Now, here's your host, Big Steve.
It is Locked Up on Halloween, a special bonus episode of the penpals.buzz Prison Pen Pal podcast. We want to celebrate the holiday in style by talking to some people and hearing about what their traditions are like while they're locked up. We've got Jason Kurtz joining us, who was on the show a few months ago. He's the author of a book called Secret Tales of the Supernatural, which you can find on Amazon. He'll give you some more details on that. But this guy knows everything spooky, everything supernatural, everything scary, and he's going to share some of his spookiness with us here on the show. I just want to talk a little about Halloween in prison. This was one of the most awesome time periods because I would always just sit on my bunk and watch TV or play poker. But throughout the year, it's like the same crap on TV, right? We just had like the basic cable, but it was always Roadhouse. It was always Forrest Gump. It was Medea Goes to Jail. Springer would be on, some wrestling would be on, and the same crap every damn day. And then October would come, and you'd see the little icon on the bottom corner of AMC, and it would say 31 Days of Halloween, right? And then it was like, yes, because it's not just a holiday. Now, this is like, for me, sitting on that bunk, this is like the whole damn month of October. It's going to be scary movies. I mean, and then I'm watching like all day long, right? They have the marathons. And I love Child's Play. That was my favorite with the Chucky doll. And they have like 17 Child's Plays or whatever, and you can watch them all. I used to actually buy bags and bags of candy. It's probably like ill-advised for anybody out there, but I'd give candy out to the other guys on Halloween just because, it's one of my favorite holidays. And I know it was hard to dress up. It was hard. You couldn't obviously go out to the Halloween parties. You can't do a lot of things, but you still can have fun. And I'm hoping our guest today, Jason Kurtz, can share some of the fun things he does on Halloween. And also we want to talk about his book a little more. But Jason, let's start by just telling us like what's your experience like locked up on Halloween night?
Well, it's so ironic that you brought that up to hand out candy, because I do that too every year. And I don't see anybody else doing it, but I do it. I just love Halloween in general. So to me, I like trick-or-treating. I don't necessarily like to hand out candy per se, like at the house, but I like to go trick-or-treating. I'd still like to create my own adult trick-or-treating It's not fun. It's not thrilling to hand out candy. But, if I could find a place where adults could go trick-or-treating, or at least it's accepted that adults can dress up, why can't an adult dress up in a costume? We go to costume parties. Why can't it be trick-or-treating for adults at night or something in the neighborhood?
Oh,
somewhere where, people want to give candy to people that like dressing up. Maybe somebody stops by for a drink or something. Everybody dresses up. Just like one big party kind of a thing.
Man, and they have the adult Halloween parties, and I used to think this is great, but I get to the house and it's like this freaky swingers party. And I was like, how did I end up here? I'm thinking I'm going to this adult Halloween thing, and then I see like a guy, tied up in the back room, and I'm like, whoa, now I think I'm in the wrong party.
Wrong party, yeah. I like the ones I just want to be able to be accepted to hand out candy to an adult.
Oh,
I just want to be able to have candy. You think about how awesome that is. People say, well, you're an adult, you can buy your own candy, but do I really want to go out and buy $200 worth of candy so I can get it a variety that I could in my neighborhood? It's about getting outside and getting a little bit of exercise and seeing different decorations and breathing in the crisp, dry air and seeing an ambiance. And if you have fall leaves in Wisconsin like we do, you get to go out and see the wind blowing dried leaves across the lawn. And you get this feeling like the original Halloween movie.
Oh,
it was
so
actually
great.
filmed in California, but it looks like Midwest. And so you get that feeling of just... It's like embracing the Halloween time and everything it has to offer, and you get to see all the different decorations in people's houses and different candy, and you know what I mean? Like,
that was just so much better back then, and that was the late 70s when that movie came out. But to be able to get outside, like you say, and walk, and you're kind of reliving that.
Halloween time, people need to get out, find an abandoned house and go there and tell ghost stories and light bonfires and, get into the spirit of burning raked leaves, in your lawn or wherever it's legal, and just get outside and embrace nature. And all the phone things are great, but Halloween time should be a time where you experience the atmosphere and the ambiance of Halloween and what it's about. And if you got haunted houses to go to those.
Oh,
and
man.
get, just try to get yourself involved in as much as that, whether you want to or not, because after the Halloween is over, all you have is memories. And so what you want to do is create the best memories you can, whether you feel it or not, and then afterward you'll look back and reflect positively about that particular time in your life.
And so many memories I have from my childhood. I remember, in the 80s, I don't know how old, I feel like we're around the same age, you and I. But I remember
we're about the same age. Yeah.
When I was a kid, it was like everybody was either Darth Vader or Dracula for years. And I remember when E.T. came out in the early 80s, my mom spent like weeks sewing me this handmade E.T. costume, which I thought it was badass, man. And I mean, I was a little tall to be E.T., but I mean, it had the little red fingertip.
I did have a favorite one. I had a samurai outfit, and I had bought this sort of like a Dracula mask, but it wasn't a mask. It was like a nylon pullover sock kind of a thing, and it looked like a Dracula with blood coming out of his fangs. And I put that on top of the samurai, so I looked like a undead Dracula samurai warrior with a hat on and everything. That was probably my favorite.
Yeah, that's just so fun, man. And I won't talk about the time. I don't know why my office back in the day, we were working for like a big online marketing company, and we had like 20 or 30 employees, and one of the guys came up with this idea. We're going to do this Halloween costume contest at the office. Whoever was best dressed up would get like $1,000, reward or whatever for, the prize. And so I'm like going all out, and this is like, I shouldn't probably admit this, but I'm like, I'm going to dress up as a real sexy woman. Right. So, I mean, and my wife, she's doing the makeup, she's doing the press on nails, which that was really hard because I couldn't type at work because those damn nails. I had a little short skirt on, which I really enjoyed that part when you need to use the restroom and you have a skirt, it's just like super easy. So I did appreciate that. But the horrible part about this is I get to work and not a single damn person is dressed up. So here I am now, this like tranny walking into the office, right? I'm like, are you guys just effing with? It's like, is this even real? Am I the only one that fell for this shit or what? But so it was just me as a not so sexy woman. You know,
sounds like an episode of The Office with Steve Carell. You remember that?
Right. Yeah, that's horrible. And I really like, oh, it was horrible. And then I had to go to the bank, and the bank, I had to deposit some checks that day, and then I was in my costume, and they didn't believe I was the person with the ID, so they wouldn't deposit the checks. And I'm just like, never again.
Nowadays, that's not that uncommon to see that.
Yeah, now they just
think be normal.
Yeah, do that on April 3rd, and it's no problem. You know, doesn't have to be October. What about movies, man? You watch? You guys get like any of the? Nowadays, you get like the streaming and on tablets. You can watch a lot of different things. Are there Halloween movies you check out every year?
Yeah, there's a couple new movies that I never used to watch growing up or didn't see before. There was a movie called Houses October Built 1 and 2. That was pretty interesting. I got a chance to see a bunch of haunted houses, real haunted houses, like not real haunted houses, but like the real made up haunted houses. And they show footage of that, which I love those haunted houses that you go into. I love those. And you don't get to see any of that in prison. So that was a nice movie. Those two movies were good. There's a movie called The Pumpkin Man. That's pretty good. Just maybe not the top most popular Halloween movies. Yeah. Candy Corn is another one.
Oh, I like that one. Once you're done listening to this today, and it's going to be nighttime here a little later, you got to go find some of these movies, man, because this is like, the stuff they make now. They do a lot of remakes too of like the originals, but man, you got to watch some of these classics, man.
Yeah, I think the Halloween movies are a must during Halloween. I mean, those are like, that pretty much epitomizes what Halloween is, right? The first Halloween, the second Halloween. I even like the third Halloween, and Jason's not even in that one.
And I'm still singing that song in my head, like 8 more days till Halloween.
Yeah, I got a bunch of candy. I got root beer barrels and butterscotch buttons and Starbursts and things I'm going to hand out on Halloween. And I sometimes have dressed up, I'll just put a sheet over my head, and that spirit alive, in prison, a lot of people don't celebrate those things because it's a tough environment and their surroundings aren't too positive, but it's just in my blood to be able to have as much fun as I can and try to be as positive as I can. So for me, Halloween is the time to do that, and I put up decorations. I even have little tea light candles, flicker.
Man, I
put those under my pictures on the wall, and I watch scary movies, and I just really get into the spirit, and I love everything out there. Everybody out there that can hear this, they're all very lucky to be able to carve a pumpkin and bake pumpkin seeds, which I love doing, sitting around a bonfire, roasting marshmallows, talking about Halloween and ghost stories, going to haunted houses, going to costume parties, grilling out, being outside. All those things you should take advantage of, because you just never know how long you're going to be able to have it, and create those memories so that it brings joy to your life. I think when you do these things, it just adds joy to your daily life when it's not a holiday, right?
Just remember that tonight and think about, hey, I need to just take a moment and just truly appreciate the freedom that I have right now to do these things, to participate in this holiday, to eat whatever candy I want, to not have to wait for commissary to deliver it. Just appreciate that freedom.
This is the Prison Pen Pal Podcast. Interact with the Prison Pen Pal Podcast at penpals.buzz.
It's Halloween, and what could be more scary than the guy that's experienced all these stories that scared the crap out of him, and he documented them in this book. You can learn more about Jason, by the way, at jasonkurtz.bio.link, Link. You can also go to penpals.buzz/inmate/Jason-Kurtz, and there's a link to this spooky tales, secret tales of the supernatural. It's gonna leave you 100% totally scared. Dude, it's so good to have you back on Halloween, man. Happy Halloween to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Happy Halloween to you and everybody else out there, too.
I was reading an excerpt from your book here. You actually have a chapter 20. It's called Halloween Night, which is like how perfect. I just want to read a little bit of this, and then I want to ask you a little about this. It says, if you've never spent a Halloween just binge watching horror shows, I highly recommend it. Plus, it's much safer than perusing the streets on a cold, spooky Halloween night. So I sat and watched horror after horror show and relit candles and admired my Halloween decor and kept tabs on my pumpkin. Then as darkness grew, my surroundings got scarier and the candles flickering. They began dancing off my walls. The TV shows got more sinister. Then at about 6 p.m., I decided to get up and get some food out of my kitchen. And when I glanced over to my left to admire my pumpkin's ambiance, my pumpkin, not 6 feet from me, had completely turned back 180 degrees with the jack-o'-lantern facing directly at me instead of away from me.
I had a complete haunting in my house on Halloween 2003. And I tell you what, there were things that were going on in my house that I definitely was being harassed by a poltergeist or an evil, unclean spirit. And there were things and I wrote about it in my book that happened that you didn't mention. There was like several things going on in the house for this pumpkin. I put it in one direction. It had a face. And then like 4 hours later, I looked down and it's facing me, toward me. And then I'm watching a TV show, and the person on the TV said that the devil knocks 3 times. And right after they said that, I heard 3 loud knocks coming from my bathroom. And I knew right then and there that there was a poltergeist in the house. This pumpkin kept facing me and then turning around, and it just kept moving around and stuff. And I knew something was up. This was like for real, like seriously, like a haunting in the house. And so it was so bad that the next day I took oil and I prayed over it and I blessed the house. And then right after I blessed the house, I turned my heat off. And as soon as I opened the windows and blessed the house, within 5 minutes, the house heated up to 95 degrees with the heat off. And it was previously 70. So I don't know how that happened. There was some things that were going on in that house. Maybe I had an unclean spirit within me. I prayed and blessed myself, and I passed it out in the name of Jesus, and that was it.
Most of us have watched Poltergeist in these movies, and you see the chair, sliding across the room, but this is just a movie. It scares you a little bit. You're like, yeah, it's not real. They were on a set filming this, and you see the priest that comes and blesses the house. But I mean, you got 23 chapters in this book, and that's just like one instance of something. You got like story after story of real supernatural, scary events that happened to you. And before, I want to ask a little more about the book, but you mentioned blessing the house. I mean, I watch these movies, and I know movies, like I said, they're not real, but you always bring the priest in, right? So how are you able to bless the house?
I was watching a ministry program called Good Shepherd's Chapel, and it comes on every day at like 5 in the morning where I was in Milwaukee. And he was talking about the Bible, and he was talking about cleansing a house of evil spirits. And he said that you don't need to have the entire cast of The Exorcist to come to your house to clean it. Really, the power comes from Jesus Christ, if that's your belief.
Okay.
And if you watch these other ghost hunter shows, a lot of ghost hunter shows will tell you that whatever belief the person has in their house, they can cast out their spirits themselves if the spirits aren't wanted.
I was out shopping one day with my wife, and she bought some sage, and she told me she's going to sage the house. And I guess she learned this from like ghost hunters. She watched all that stuff, and I never really believed in that, but then she brought sage into the house, and I didn't know, like, is that part of the process, or is that maybe for somebody with a different belief system?
I have a book in my other book, Secrets to Wisdom, which you can find through Amazon. I have a book in there that talks about the magic of believing.
Okay.
By a guy named Bristol. So the thing is, it's what we believe in will work for us if we believe it 100%. That's what faith is. It's believing in something that you can't see, but you just have 100% faith in it. So really what you believe will work for you.
Okay.
And that's how I've seen it. Now, you might want to use sage. Somebody else might want to use a shaman.
That makes a lot of sense. For those that weren't lucky enough to hear our last interview about your books, just give everybody just what is the Secret Tales of the Supernatural, a little rundown about that and where they can find it and purchase this.
Secret Tales of the Supernatural. Let me just describe to the listeners how this came about. I didn't just come up with this off the cuff. I was reading a book called Haunted Wisconsin, and in it talked about a house that was haunted in Milwaukee. Now, when I read it, it all of a sudden triggered a memory of the house that they're talking about. I was in it. My friend lived there. One of the scariest things that I had happen was when I went over there, he was telling me about this guy, Major Hobart, which you can actually Google online. He had hung himself off of a chandelier in the middle of the house years ago, and he was describing to me all these things that he was hearing and seeing in the house. And at the time, which was like 20, 30, 25 years ago, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was kind of scary, and I didn't think much of it until years later when I read about it in a book, and I realized that I had other experiences that I could write about myself. So then I started to think about all of my own experiences of people that were haunted, friends that were haunted, different experiences, thrill seeking that we did when we would, I'm sure everybody's done this, but you go to a abandoned house and you walk around with a flashlight and you listen and hear noises, and we went to an abandoned insane asylum, which years ago they used to call them insane asylums, and we went into one and we started to go down into the basement, and then all of a sudden we heard a loud noise. It was pitch black. There was water on the ground, and it was like nobody in the place, but it sounded like there was someone down there or something down there. Had a lot of stories. Why don't I write them all down, put them in a book, and then people can read them, and then they can experience everybody's got some experience, I think. Most people probably have an experience. Yeah. And I just happen to have a bunch, and I just have a good memory, and I wrote them all down.
Give everybody the rundown again, how to get the Secret Tales of the Supernatural, and anything else you'd like to share before we're rudely disconnected by that 1 minute remaining, lady.
Sure. You can Google Jason E. Kurtz, Kurtz, and you can also find me on YouTube at Jason Kurtz Fitness and Wisdom on YouTube. That's a channel, and if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe to that. There's 9 videos and another podcast video, Jason Kurtz Podcast.
1 minute remaining.
I also have 3 other books you can purchase: Secrets to Wealth and Wisdom, Secrets to Wealth, and Secrets to Wisdom, and you can find those on my bio link and through my YouTube channel. And other than that, Secret Tales of the Supernatural is, all my books are found on Amazon, and you can Google me or check on Amazon, Jason E. Kurtz.
And I can honestly say, Jason, I have all of the books you've published, and that's thanks to you because you've sent them all to me. So I appreciate that. And now my job is to actually read them. You told me, you probably don't even read.
Yes, sir.
So I got to read the books, but I appreciate, I've got them, man, and they're next on my list, I promise. Happy Halloween, my friend.
Happy Halloween.
JasonKurtz.bio.link. His name's spelled Kurtz. JasonKurtz.bio.link. That'll get you all the info you need to get the Secret Tales of the Supernatural here on Halloween night at penpals.buzz. I just want to hear more about people's traditions when they're locked up, when they're in jail or prison. What happens? What doesn't happen on Halloween? That's 888, the number 2, PenPal, 888-273-6725. And look, it looks like, what is it, line 6, Daisy? Line 6, we have Cheyenne Smith in Tallahassee, Florida. You're on with Big Steve.
So, where I've been, we haven't been able to dress up, but we do throw, little parties. We do, pizza and little candies and stuff. We do cakes. We make little Halloween cakes and decorations.
That is cool. Do you get, orange? Can you get, orange frosting or orange coloring somehow to make it look Halloween-y?
So, with the cakes and stuff, we use the Skittles mixed drinks to make the different colors. They have purple and green and orange and stuff like that.
Oh, like is that like the powdered drink mix?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then like there's some people that know how to make Laffy Taffy and stuff, which is really good.
And then like, do people go like cell to cell trick or treating or anything crazy like that, or is it just like you get together with your friends?
We get together like a big old group and stuff and do it.
I'm thinking like an inmate with a pillowcase walking around, with candy. But they can't. They probably get
That's
busted.
a good idea.
You get busted doing that. What about like?
Yeah, get busted with traffic and trading.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. What movies? Like, do you have a favorite movie that you watch around this time of year?
I like Hocus Pocus, and I like anything scary on the AMC channel.
Yeah, they do like that whole month of Halloween, 31 days, right, on AMC.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
And as far as like candy, are you like a chocolate girl? You like you prefer like the Laffy Taffy stuff?
I like the sour candy.
My wife does too, man. I can't stand it. She buys these sour things, and it's like, man, I just like taste a little bit of that sugar, and my eyeball starts to twitch, and so I can't do it, man. I'm a wuss. I just go for the the chocolate. Can we give out your info here in case anybody wants to write you or get to know you?
Sure. My name is Cheyenne Smith, and I'm here at the FCI Tallahassee in Tallahassee, Florida.
All right. Hey, thank you so much, and happy Halloween. Okay, tell all the girls we said hello at penpals.buzz.
Happy Halloween.
Somebody else calling online too. People are actually listening on Halloween. I love it. Finally, someone's listening. Hi, it's the penpals.buzz Prison Pen Pal podcast. What's your name and where are you calling from tonight?
My name is Laura, Laura, last name Wickham, in Virginia, but I'm at FCI Tallahassee.
Happy Halloween, first of all. I mean, we're trying to celebrate this, celebrating this today. And what do you do there to celebrate? Are you in like a Halloween mood?
I mean, it's not really like that here. It's really kind of bad.
No.
But if I did have an opportunity, I would. I would dress up at home. I have decorations on my locker.
Okay. But you're not passing candy out or nothing like that?
No, our commissary never has everything.
Man.
Like we literally didn't have any commissary, so there was nothing for us to get last week. That's what they always do here. This is the most horrible prison.
Oh my God. What do they tell you? I mean, that reminds me like when I was a kid and I'd be going trick or treating and I'd be so excited. I'm going to get some candy. And then I get up to the house and the bastard in the house has no candy, right? And he's like, go away. That's sort of like not getting your commissary, right? They're kind of like, they screw you. I mean, you're already kind of screwed in that position. And then what do they tell you? Oh, sorry, the truck didn't come in. They have some excuse like, oh, it was snowing.
Yeah, the government shut down.
Oh, the government shut down, so you can't eat?
Exactly.
So what about, like, what do you do? I mean, are you, like, all sitting around? Is there a TV, like, in a day room or something? Are you watching scary movies on your tablets?
Here, there's scary movies. We got 4 TVs in here. But it's like bunk beds. It's like, you know what I'm saying, like a big room of bunk beds. So there's not really a day room, I guess. It's not what I thought it was going to be at all. Not that I wanted to come to prison, but everybody's like, federal prison is so much better, but it's not.
Dude, that's what we've heard. Like, we always heard, like, Martha Stewart club fed and that she had, like, a hot tub, and I think that was all BS.
Well, probably, like, Maxwell, I know that she has a stove and refrigerator and stuff in her room.
Oh, man.
And she's at camp now.
A
but
stove.
if she was here, but for the rest of us, poor folks, there's nothing, money talks, you know what I mean?
We got to open up the government again, everybody. Man, they don't understand screwing the poor inmates in Tallahassee out of their candy. I mean, it's screwed up.
Yeah.
Come on, Schumer.
Yeah, it is.
Come on, Schumer.
And, get it together.
Oh, Laura, man, I appreciate you calling. I hope you have a great, great's a bad, but I hope you have a okay Halloween at least.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think I did take some hair nets and make fishnet pantyhose out of them.
Oh, now we're talking. Yeah, that now. See, now all the guys just started listening finally. They're like, whoo.
I did make those, but I mean, it's so cold, like, you know what I mean? I might wear them if it's not that cold.
I think you should. Do whatever you can, get in the spirit. Because we're trying to make this Halloween like the best one ever. Everyone's going to be dressed. People out here on the streets, they want to dress up like inmates, and I just saw a guy on Facebook looking for a jumpsuit, and I'm like, really? I don't think you really like. They think that would be cool, but wait till you're actually there, and then you're like, no, F this.
Yeah, I definitely don't want a jumpsuit, and I'm probably never wearing brown again.
Right? How much longer? When are you getting out of there?
10 of 28, unless I could get less time.
Man, good luck. We'll be rooting for you.
Definitely want out of here, that's for sure. I promise I'll be good.
Laura, tell us your last name again, and then how people can connect with you.
All right, it's Laura Elizabeth Wickham, Wickham, and we have core links here in Tallahassee. So I guess really they could write me a letter, and then I can add them, and then I can call them because that's really the only way. But
if you can send us a help at penpals.buzz is our address. Send us a request on core links, and then people that hear you, they're going to email us, and we can send you then we can send you their email so that you can send them a request, if that makes sense. That seems complicated.
Okay, yeah, I did add the email address too.
Okay.
So I think that you guys just have to accept it.
Okay, we'll take care of that tonight, or as soon as we can, and then we'll whatever we get. Anyone that wants to talk to Laura, just email us here, and we'll pass that on to you. Or you were about to give out the postal address as well. Go ahead.
FCI Tallahassee, PO Box 5000, Tallahassee, Florida 32314.
And what's your long 8-digit number so they can include that?
959599509.
Wow, no way. 9595959509.
This call is from a federal prison.
959599509.
959599509. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's the best number ever.
Yeah. I thought I was being punked when I first got it.
959599509. Laura, Tallahassee.
959599509.
Thank you, and good luck, and we'll talk to you soon. All
right, thank you so much.
All right, you bet.
It's time for Steve to have some candy. But he'll be back soon, hopefully, with a much less frightening edition of the Prison Pen Pal podcast. Happy Halloween from penpals.buzz.
I'm going to get you. Na 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 na.
From Northern California, it's the penpals.buzz Prison Pen Pal podcast. Hear real stories from real inmates who want to write to you. Now, here's your host, Big Steve.
So we're here with incarcerated author and fitness coach, world-renowned fitness coach, Jason Kurtz, and we're calling this podcast episode Jason Kurtz's Fitness and Wisdom. And I've always been much better at the wisdom part than the fitness part.
A healthy body equals a healthy mind. And a healthy mind is better for you mentally because it will end up with less medications and less psychological problems, because exercise actually works on your brain. Your brain has got a lot of tissue in there, a lot of neurotransmitters, and when you exercise, you actually increase the synapses responses back and forth to each other, the connection that they have, and you actually get a healthier brain and a healthier mind, and you can think more clearly. And exercise is also beneficial for your eyes. You're utilizing glycogen when you exercise. So similar to diabetes, and like a type 2 diabetic has usually like a blood sugar, rise in blood sugar when they eat and things. Exercise actually helps stabilize your blood sugar. And a lot of type 2 diabetics end up with ocular problems because the blood sugar is too high. And too much blood sugar goes to your brain, it affects your eyes.
My wife sees me squinting all the time, and she keeps giving me crap saying, like, Steven, you need to go to the eye doctor. You're blind, and I'm always squinting. Maybe that's part of it. I gotta work out more.
When we're born, we're given this vessel, right? Like you would, let's say, a Lamborghini. As an example for a vehicle, you get a Lamborghini, and what you're going to want to do, what do you do with a $150,000, $200,000 Lamborghini? You want to take care of it. You want to maintain it. You want to clean it. You want to get the oil changed. And, you want to do all the maintenance and tune-ups that you can with the Lamborghini. Your body is that Lamborghini.
The Lamborghini, that's such a good example because I spend so much time, I don't have a Lamborghini, I have a Subaru, but I spend so much time taking care of that. I spend time, I have that little gummy stuff that you can do the interior where it sort of like sticks. It's like slime, right? And I clean the interior and I wax everything and it looks great. And then I go eat a hot fudge sundae. It's so counterintuitive that I think so many people want to take care of inanimate objects, but not their own body, which is seemingly way more important.
Yeah, exactly. It's counterproductive to clean your house but not clean your body. And, just like you brush your teeth and you take a shower and you clean and bathe, you need to exercise too. That's just part of the maintenance of the body. And a lot of people don't exercise because they're not brought up to feel that that's a mandatory necessity for the body to maintain good health. But the healthiest people are the ones that exercise typically the most.
How do you know all this stuff?
Yeah, when it comes to fitness, I've been studying this since I was 11, and I've been working out since I've been 11 years old, and I've studied extensively bodybuilders, fitness, health, physiology, kinesiology, biomechanics. I worked for 15 gyms in 3 different
calls
states.
Other than properly placed attorney calls may be monitored and recorded.
I managed several gyms. I worked for fitness stores. I was certified in Valley Total Fitness. I worked for Gold's Gym. I took American Council on Exercise, nutritional course, and the personal training course. I have an extensive background. I've been studying this for years, so when it comes to fitness, you can pretty much ask me anything.
15 gyms, that's unbelievable. I've been to 2 gyms.
Well, here's what. Well, I've been to over 100 gyms, but one of the biggest things about fitness that I like to talk about is that when people start out with their workout routine, the problem that I see and that I saw in the gyms is that people feel like they need to consume all of their exercise at one time. And people need to realize that any exercise program, whether you're a beginner or you're starting back again into exercise, you need to start really slow. You need to start with a 10 minutes every other day type of routine. It's not how much you do, it's that you do something. And you start a program slow and you do anything. 10 minutes of walking a day is super beneficial. The key to it is consistency. Okay. So you don't want to expect immediate results.
So back in the day, we used to watch, and I'm sure you watched too, this show, The Biggest Loser. And I actually had nightmares of Bob, the trainer. I had nightmares of that guy for real, like yelling at me saying, work harder, run faster, and it scared me. But you see that, and those guys are working out 8 hours a day until they're vomiting all over the gym equipment. But you're saying that's probably not the best way to go. No,
unfortunately, The Biggest Loser was a program that gained an audience just so people could watch a show, and it made ratings, for NBC. But the reality is that you want to do the opposite of what they're doing, because these people have never either been in a workout program or it's been a long time. And so there's something called a BMR, that's basal metabolic rate.
Okay.
And your body changes slowly over time, so you can't change what you have immediately. So these people that had gained or lost so much weight within a year, they lost too much weight. Their BMR actually was pretty close to the same after a year. And so when they started to retract and rebound what they were doing, going back to eating and not exercising as much, they typically gained all their weight back and sometimes even worse because their metabolic rate stayed the same. The point of exercise is to make a life change so that you slowly change in increments. Never jump into it. You want to make sure that it's just really, really slow and to the point where you don't even see much results for weeks at a time. And then every 2-3 weeks, you'll notice a little bit of change here and there, but don't ever expect immediate change.
You're saying, maybe 10 minutes a day you start, and then maybe after a certain amount of days or months, you maybe go up to 20 minutes or something that's realistic for you.
Let's say, for example, your favorite meal is pizza, and you love pizza, and that's just what you love to eat all the time, but you are going to get yourself sick if you eat pizza every meal and always eat pizza and you eat too much of it. Eventually, it becomes excessive. You no longer like the pizza. You no longer like your favorite food. You want to sort of take what you enjoy, which would be exercise, and do just enough to where you're excited to go back. You should never, anybody that's listening to this, never go to the gym or start your workout program and hate it.
Yeah.
You should do something that makes you feel good, and when it stops feeling good, then you stop and you do go back the next day or wait another day. Every workout program should feel good. So I think there's a huge misnomer in the fitness industry where people feel like, I don't want to work out because it's going to hurt and take this much time and it's going to be this painful and, I just hate it. That's where you're doing too much. You want to do just enough, just like your favorite pizza. You want to have just a little bit of it so that you kind of crave it again next time. I'm going to give you a little bit now, and in a couple days, I'm going to give you another slice of pizza.
And it doesn't convince me like, don't ever work out. Well, Jason said I shouldn't eat the pizza. It's just moderation. Everything's moderation. Now, you have the gym there at your prison. I remember when I was in prison, our gym was just horrible, and I still remember this old exercise bike. I believe it was from the 1950s. Man, it wasn't pretty looking, but I hear things have gotten better.
So what I've noticed in the state, all over our state in the prison system, is that HSU has gotten involved with people's health because they noticed the decline in how inmates' health was and how much it was costing the health services department to fund all these health problems that inmates were having. So they started to push for better exercise equipment in the gym, better food that we eat. So when you see our department, they promote exercise. They tell people to work out. They're telling people to walk and exercise and eat right and eat better and putting them on diets and giving us better food. So we eat less red meat and we have more soy in our diets, which is actually plant-based and it's healthier for you. And there are a lot of people that really seem to be more interested in fitness because of the HSU department. And we have Nautilus equipment that's pretty much what I've seen everywhere is almost brand new Nautilus equipment.
Wow.
And pull-up bars and push-up bars. And a person out in the world, if you do not have certain equipment, push-ups, pull-ups, and squats are the basic essentials for the best exercise routine you could want.
So you don't even really need a gym if you're doing those things. And again, just doing it consistently. But it's pretty awesome that you got Nautilus equipment. And I mean, it's good for everybody. It's saving them money. It's helping the inmates be healthier and happier. That's really like a win-win and a good way to spend, a good way to invest, right?
Yeah, I think I think a lot of people in the world have a lot of excuses as to why they don't work out, and I can tell you, I heard them all. I worked in gyms. I sent up a lot of people, and I know the excuses people have for not exercising, and the list goes on. And the reality is just doing push-ups every other day and squats is beneficial for you, and you don't need a gym to do that, and you don't need to do a lot of them. You know, if you start out, somebody wants to start out on a routine, do 10 push-ups every other day, and then people might think that's not enough, but that's the start, and that's not where you finish. So you begin there, and then you work your way slowly. After weeks and weeks and months, you can work your way up a little bit more, and then create a maintenance program.
Right.
And so the whole point of it is that any type of activity above what you're doing is beneficial as long as you don't overdo it. You know, there's another thing called overtraining where people do too much. Just like eating too much pizza can make you feel sick, doing too much exercise can also make you sick and not inspire you to want to do more. So that's the whole point of it, do it just a little bit. When we get excited about wanting to start a new program, the point isn't to go out and do hours and hours of exercise because, you know, you think that that's how you start and that you'll have to do that every day. No, you want to go out and say, okay, today I'm going to walk for 10 minutes, or today I'm going to do 10 push-ups. I'm going to start really, really slow. And don't put all that pressure on yourself to be Mr. Fitness within a week.
Yeah.
You know, because it takes time to get these types of results, you know. You got to think about it in terms of how you're going to look next year.
Right.
Next year, maybe I'm going to look a little more like Superman. Tomorrow, I'm not going to, you know. Tomorrow, I'm going to just feel like a normal person that had maybe a little bit sore from something I did. You know, I'm not going to try and put myself into expectations that are too high. So,
I always remind myself, like when I start dieting, like, hey, it took me 3 years to gain 50 pounds. You know, it took me 3 years of eating crap, and it's not going to go away tomorrow. Just because tomorrow I eat Brussels sprouts and some baked fish, I'm still going to have some more time. You just got to think of, okay, it took this much time to get to this point. It's going to take time to get back.
Yeah.
But I think the key is just the consistency and not hating what you're doing, like you said, is important. Man, we want to talk in a little bit.
Exactly.
I want to talk a little bit later on. We're going to go into your system you created, but can you just briefly touch on what it is? It's something that says it took you like years and years to create.
I created what's called a miracle workout.
Okay.
And honestly, it's on my YouTube channel, Jason Kurtz's Fitness and Wisdom YouTube, under Real Fitness Results Gone Viral. This is the workout program that took me, I mean, as long as I've been working out, I've tried every different type of workout program, and the miracle workout, what I created, was something that I legitimately tried every workout program, found this exact scientific program and routine that must be followed to the T, and it will give you miracle results. It's typically more for size and not so much strength, but size and some vascularity.
Okay.
And it's definitely a bodybuilder type workout. I would say that some people could get equivalent to a anabolic steroid program on it because you get that much growth out of it, of muscle tissue. It might not be specifically designed for somebody that, is trying to be a long distance runner. But if you're into bodybuilding and muscle building, the miracle workout is it. You can find that on my YouTube channel. It's basically a 10, 20, 30 rep program, and you can Google it, and if you find it, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
That program is not anywhere else. It's from me. I designed it. I created it, and it must be followed exactly, and you will get the best results possible.
And absolutely free. It's not $59.99 and none of that. It's just free. You're giving that away, just being the kind gentleman that you are. Jason Kurtz. Man, we'll come right back. We're going to talk more about that and some of the other stuff you have online for people, if you'll stick around with us here.
Perfect, yeah.
Do you have a loved one that might like a pen pal? Tell them about penpals.buzz. With a penpals.buzz profile, they can exchange letters and emails with open-minded men and women worldwide. penpals.buzz.
This is the Prison Pen Pal Podcast. Interact with the Prison Pen Pal Podcast at penpals.buzz.
Man, so you got all of these tips, and I was going through all of your different social medias and websites, but YouTube has all kinds of information under Jason Kurtz Fitness and Wisdom.
Yeah, this is a great big part of this, and this is so everybody can get a chance to see what I'm talking about in my fitness experiences. I have a YouTube channel called Jason Kurtz's Fitness and Wisdom, and you can find that directly on YouTube. And then on that channel, there are videos called Jason Kurtz Gym Guy at YouTube that has fitness tips. And then there's Real Fitness Results Gone Viral at YouTube, and that's another great fitness video. And then there's Christian Workout Tips Gone Viral. And in both of those videos, you're going to see a workout called Miracle Workout. It took me over 20 years to try this particular type of workout, and I've tried every different style of workout. So the Miracle Workout is basically sets of 10, sets of 20, and sets of 30, and there's a lot of science behind it. But if you just go to one of those YouTube channels, videos, you're going to see the workout, and I recommend it for everybody. Everybody that hears this should try the miracle workout. It's legitimately a miraculous result, and it's better than anything I've seen and done and experienced before in my 30-plus years of exercising. And exactly that will give you miracle results. I also have a TikTok channel called J. Kurtz Fitness and Wisdom, and that's just the letter J, and then Kurtz Fitness and Wisdom, no spaces, at TikTok. And that's a channel that has a couple videos on there as well with Jason Kurtz, Gym Guy, at TikTok. And for the YouTube channel, if you can subscribe, you'll see more content coming, and there's a bunch of videos. There's like 10 videos on there, and there's 2 other podcasts that describe books that I have, and my fitness tips and my miracle workout are in several of my books that I have for sale on those sites. I also have a bio link, jasonkurtz.bio.link, and you can go directly to that page, and you can see my podcast, see my videos, you can see my channels, you can see my Facebook page, you can see my Instagram page.
Man, there's so much good stuff. I'm just looking at one little page here. I mean, it says things like, see large goals, write them down, then set mini goals as you hit each large goal. So you created, it took you 20 years?
This is the genuine article. This work, look, I'm a diehard dedicated fitness guru. And in prison all these years, I've tried every type of workout, high reps, low reps, several days off, 3 days a week, 4 days a week. I've tried everything you can think of, fast sets, slow sets, fast reps, high volume, low volume, high intensity. I've tried everything possible. Like, I legitimately wrote down, I tried everything.
Everything.
And this miracle workout, it's unbelievable the results you get, and they're fairly quick. Within a week or two, you start to notice them, and those results are amazing. I mean, it's muscle, it's size. You look better, you feel better. You get amazing results, and you're going to feel better just walking around in general. You're going to feel fitter and healthier and better. I will put my miracle workout against anybody else's exercise routine as far as bodybuilding goes, and that's sans steroids. So this is something that you don't need to have anabolic steroids to take. We'll get the results similar to anabolic steroids. There's a scientific reason behind it.
People don't even need to buy this? I mean, this is just free, right? I mean,
absolutely free. It's included on you can see it on my videos.
When you hear free these days, I mean, nothing is free anymore. And even when they tell you things are free, then they always add on, just pay shipping and handling, or just pay the processing fee, or just return it within 30 days and you won't be charged. So this is like legit free, and this could turn your body and your life around just by hitting up Jason Kurtz's Fitness and Wisdom.
I challenge anybody to try this routine, check it out, get the results, and you're going to see that it's free and that it was something you didn't have to pay for. I technically could write a book about it and try and charge people and describe how many routines I experienced just to get to that point and the results that I got. But you know what? Why? Why not just help people and show people that what I took me years to figure out, let other people experience it? Because I love fitness, and I love the fact that other people, I can help through informing people of what I learned through years of training.
You worked at, let's reiterate, so you worked at 15 different gyms, and you were running a lot of these gyms, right? You were the main man.
That's correct. I've worked for Gold's Gym. I've worked for Lifestyle Family Fitness. I worked for Wisconsin Health and Fitness, Wisconsin Athletic Club. I worked for Fitness Experience, which sold fitness equipment. So this is something that I've dedicated my entire career and my life to, and I've been working out since I've been 11 years old. So, 30-plus years I've been dedicated into fitness. I'm in prison because of a supplement that I was associated with, which is part of the fitness industry as well.
Man, you're making the most of it with all this. This is really good stuff. I have something I've been dying to ask, just out of my curiosity, and I mean, people can go to your pinpals.buzz profile and see you're a fit guy. There's also like there's close-up pictures of your muscles. I mean, I've seen you're flexing and people can see that and be like, "Oh my God, this guy's the real deal." It's not like if I were promoting fitness. I just got this promo for this poker. This guy was selling a poker system for how to make big money. We looked this guy up. In 20 years, he's made only $7,000 in tournament winnings. This guy, and then when we look further, he's like a digital marketer. That's what he does. He knows probably little to nothing about poker, but he's selling the system. Jason Kurtz here, he's the real deal.
I live this, and I live fitness, and I love fitness, and that's why I wanted to get in touch with you and do this.
Yeah, this is great. When I was locked up, man, a big thing, all the guys would spend like tons of money on the whey protein powder. That was like the thing to get if you were like working out. How important is that? Is that something that people should incorporate or not? What's your thoughts on that?
I tout amino acids. Amino acids are better than protein. Amino acids are protein that's already broken down. So when you consume protein in the sources of whey or soy or egg or whatever powder that you use, your body's kidneys have to break that protein down and then into amino acids that's delivered to the muscle tissue, and then at the site of the damaged muscle tissue, it rebuilds into protein. So your body has to break down protein into amino acids. So the best option, and people tout whey and certain types of proteins that are fast digesting, but the best option is amino acids because that's the source of protein, and it's immediately shuttled to the damaged muscle tissue. So when you exercise, you're tearing muscle tissue down, and your body needs to repair it, and it requires amino acids to do that, and glycogen in the form of blood sugar. So your body will shuttle the aminos to the muscle. So bypass the process of breaking the amino acids down, eliminate the protein, and go directly to consuming amino acids. And you will get a faster recovery, you'll get a faster replenishment of aminos to the muscle tissue, and you'll start that healing process much quicker than you would with any protein source. The protein sources can be okay, but they're also a selling point. They're a product of supplement industry, which makes money off of protein, and it's very inexpensive. People don't realize how, whey is just half or a portion of what milk is, and it's a very inexpensive protein source. So it's easily supplemented, and people make a lot of money on that. But if you want the best results, amino acids and maybe like electrolytes and minerals after you work out, keep it real simple. And vitamins, it's good to take a multivitamin, which is beneficial. Make sure you take that with some fat, though, because there are a lot of fat-soluble vitamins that require some amount of fat to digest and be processed in your body. So it's beneficial to have a vitamin with your meal after, and the best and most important if you're exercising, there's two most important meals of the day. It's breakfast or whatever time you first eat before you work out, and your meal after you work out. When you work out sufficiently, your body requires the calories to help the process of recovery. So it's important to get your best meal in after you work out.
You mentioned the amino acids a minute ago. Is that available for you in the prison there in Wisconsin on commissary? Can you buy certain supplements that help with that?
We don't have them on our commissary, but there are vendors that we can purchase certain workout supplements from, varying from protein powders, aminos, and vitamins.
And what would you tell the guys, because we just talked to somebody the other day, and there's more and more people that they're stuck in segregation, they're stuck in a cell, they might be listening to our podcast on their secret phone that they shouldn't have, or maybe on their tablet. But what would you tell them? They're not allowed to go to the gym.
Well, you got to remember, your body is basically boils down to either pushing something or pulling something. So you can pretty much work most parts of your body by pushing something away and pulling something in. And the source of push-ups, which is absolutely perfect, you can change the level of your feet. So you can put your feet on something, you can prop your feet up You can push something, if you put your feet against the wall, or you do, and then you can change your hand position to close presses or wide presses. And to be honest, push-ups are all you need. Push-ups in some sort of curling motion, and I used to use personally paperwork and books and put them in a pillowcase or a bag.
Yeah. That makes sense. There's a lot of paperwork. You get all your legal work, and you can, do curls with all my appeals. I could be doing curls for the rest of my life.
That's all you really need. Though, as long as you're not overtraining, just make sure whoever's working out that you're not overtraining. You don't want to overdo it. Don't ever exercise to the point where you're uninterested, where you feel like you're forcing it. Unless it's in the beginning of a routine, don't force anything. It should be a joyful experience. And every time I exercise, I look forward to it. So I do just enough to where I'm not overtraining, and I look forward to the next day. And
you got to remember, Mrs. Freshly is not your friend, and avoid the honey buns. No honey buns to go with the workout.
That's not entirely true. Just make sure that you do everything in moderation.
Okay.
Don't cheat yourself, because if you eliminate things that you enjoy in life, it's going to make you crave it even more, and then eventually you're going to give in. So you want to do everything in moderation. Have days and times that you have those sweets, and then make sure that you don't indulge. Don't overdo anything. Don't overdo food, or don't overdo exercise. Everything in moderation. Don't restrict yourself. If you like a Swiss roll or something, you want to have something, have a treat. But make sure that, you're not overdoing anything, and always focus on your results.
It's lockdown time for Big Steve, but he'll be back soon with another edition of the PenPals.Buzz Prison Pen Pal podcast. To be a guest on our show, email podcast@penpals.buzz or call 888-2-PEN-PAL. PenPals.Buzz is a division of Snaptura Inmate Services.